Hello and welcome to the Power Team Certified Trainer Support webinar for the I'm Relevant exercise. Okay, so before we dig in, be sure to print out the trainer's guide document. That's what you see on the screen now, and we'll be using this document as well as the PowerPoint presentation to kind of walk through the exercise and the best way to deliver the exercise. So let's just kind of start at the beginning, which is who's the target for this exercise. And the I'm Relevant exercise is very flexible. To begin with, you can use the exercise for core groups. The idea is that we can supercharge the growth of that group towards chartering as a new chapter. In addition, the I'm Relevant exercise works very well for active chapters as a way of introducing the Power Team Certified system. And then finally, for purposes of this training webinar, the I'm Relevant exercise can be used at public events to introduce BNI through the Power Team Certified system. So a very flexible program that you can use in a variety of ways, and I suspect you'll likely come up with some additional applications for your region. So let's go ahead and just kind of work our way through an overview now of the key points of the I'm Relevant exercise. And essentially what we're trying to do is create a paradigm shift. We're helping the participants see their own products and services in a way that's relevant to these 6 key situations. And once they see themselves as relevant to one or more of the 6 key situations, they now begin to see how they can create referrals and receive referrals in a new way from some business categories that on the surface appear to have nothing to do with their business. And so the outline is that we're going to introduce the 6 key situations that create referrals for more than 36 different BNI members. We're going to use a worksheet to help the participants connect their products and services to the 6 key situations. And then the exercise results in a one-to-one appointment with a networking partner who shares the same number 1 key situation. So kind of an overview of what we're going to do. Now we'll just talk briefly about your preparation before implementing or presenting the I'm Relevant exercise. Beginning with, you'll make a decision. There's 2 ways to wrap up the exercise. One takes a little longer than the other, and I'll show you both and you'll make a decision which works best for you. The PowerPoint slides that I give you can be customized, and certainly we want you to add your local contact information to the final PowerPoint slide. Next step is that you'll print out the I'm Relevant worksheets with at least one for each participant. You'll have a supply of Post-it notes, and I'll show you why in just a few moments. And then finally, for your preparation, you want the BNI members and their guests to hopefully sit near each other and be able to stand for mingling. So important that they kind of sit in the same area, have some room where they'll be able to mingle as part of the exercise. And then if you decide to do the second version of the wrap-up, you'll need to have the flexibility for the participants to form groups of 8 and sit to discuss some of the material. So you can review these 5 prep items before you go ahead and present this program. So now we'll take a look at the I'm Relevant worksheet itself. This is the document that the members will have in front of them, and I'll go through it in great detail in the presentation, so I won't take extra time to duplicate that now. Just point out that you can have the worksheet in front of you separately as we go through the rest of the presentation. Okay, here's your outline as the presenter on the timing of the program. So the presentation can be given in a range of 30 to 45 minutes. It begins with a 3-minute introduction, which I'll walk you through each of these in just a moment. After the 3-minute intro, there's a 5-minute PowerPoint example. So the first 8 minutes are now covered. Then you have a couple of decisions to make on how much time you can devote to this exercise. The third section is the I'm Relevant exercise, where people go through the worksheet on their own. You can give them 10 to 15 minutes to complete that, And then wrap up number 1 and 2 can range from 10 to 20 minutes. And then deciding on which way you go with the exercise, you're going to close the same way, and that's a 2-minute closing. So again, depending on how you decide to do the entire presentation, it's going to run between 30 and 45 minutes. Okay, so now on the bottom portion of page 3 of your document, I get into a delivery of a script and a dialogue for this presentation. So I'm going to go through this. I'll give, I'll back and forth a little bit and give you some tips as presenters, but I'm going to try to work my way through the material now as if I were presenting. But I'm going to encourage you to use your own words. If you have to read the presentation, that's okay, but if you can use your own words, that would be best. So let's just go ahead and dive right in, and we'll take a look at the PowerPoint presentation that you'll have on the screen behind you before you start with this dialogue on page 3. Okay, so this is the title screen for the PowerPoint presentation, and then in a moment, as we jump back into the dialogue document, you're going to talk about the 6 key situations. The participants will be looking at their worksheet, which lists the 6 key situations, but we'll have this on the screen to give them some additional visual support for what they're doing. So picture this on the screen, and now we'll go back to the trainer's guide document. Okay, so let's just have some fun with it, and I'll do the presentation. So hello everybody, let me ask you a question. Would you be interested if I could show you a quick and easy way to give and receive more referrals? Yes? Great. Okay, here we go. To set the stage for today's exercise, let's take a look at 6 common life cycle events that create a lot of referrals for a wide variety of businesses. Now everybody should have the I'm Relevant worksheet in front of you. Let's quickly review the 6 key situations in the left column. So, everybody has the sheet. Let's look at the business builder key situation. This is people starting a new business or growing an existing business. Next is people getting healthy. These are people recovering from illness or injury, as well as being proactive for optimal health. Then we have people getting married, as well as the new baby key situation, people with a new baby or one on the way. Relocation. This is people moving into or out of town. And finally, the real estate key situation. This includes people buying, selling, new construction, remodeling, and property management. All of those are part of the real estate key situation. Okay, so the little wrap that I just went into there, I'm giving you 3 minutes in the agenda to make that presentation. I probably rattled through it in maybe half that time. So I'm giving you some extra time to flesh out that 3-minute introduction, and you can see where I've prompted you here on when to click the PowerPoint. And so at this point here, this will be your cue now as we go through the rest of the material on when to click your PowerPoint. And at the point that you mentioned Business Builder, that's when the images would come onto the screen. So we've just completed the 3-minute introduction, and now we're doing a 5-minute example relying heavily on the PowerPoint. So here we go. You've just gone through that 3-minute introduction, and now you're saying you click the PowerPoint again. So let me just go to the PowerPoint so that you can see where that goes. So after we get done with this slide, and you're now going to say, okay, let's take a look at the rest of the I'm Relevant worksheet, this is what you'll be clicking to. And you'll be reviewing the 6 key situations that you just went over, and then talking about the different columns on the worksheet. So let's go ahead and bounce back to the document. You'll know now what's flashing on the screen as I'm asking you to go through these different clicks. So as I said, now let's take a look at the rest of the I'm Relevant worksheet. Click again. The idea is to go through each of the 6 key situations, Click again to help you see if you have products or services that are relevant to the consumer who's experiencing each of the 6 key situations, as well as what the consumer benefit of that relevant product or service is, and how much of a priority that key situation is for your referrals. So let's take a look at a quick example. Here's how a massage therapist might complete this worksheet. Click again. And so now let's go back to the PowerPoint so I can keep you up to speed on what you're doing with these clicks now. So again, we've gone through these columns, and now we're up to the current click where we're talking about a massage therapist. And so as I'm asking you to click, you'll be putting in either the relevant product or service. In this case, for the business builder, it's a chair massage, and the consumer benefit is office morale. And then as you'll see in the next few clicks, we're going to talk about the getting healthy key situation, the getting married key situation, the new baby key situation, as well as relocation, and the real estate key situation. So these are the clicks that you'll be filling in as we go back through the trainer guide document. Okay, so here we are back at the trainer guide document, and we're talking about, let's look at a quick example. Here's how a massage therapist might complete the worksheet. Click. Let's start with the business builder key situation. This is people growing an existing business or starting a new business. And for the massage therapist, a relevant service is the chair massage in the office. Click again and ask the question, doesn't it make sense that office morale would go up if everyone got a 15-minute chair massage? And would the business builder benefit from increased office morale? How about showing appreciation to great clients with a gift certificate for a massage? So you just go on to page 5 now, and you'll ask the question, can you see a new way to create referrals for your massage therapist now that you see the relevance to the business builder key situation? So hopefully people are saying yes, and you say, okay, let's see what's next. Click again. So now we're going to go through the rest of the key situations. The dialogue here simply says, getting healthy. This is people recovering from illness or injury, as well as being proactive for optimal health. Click again to show the benefit, and it's easy to see how a massage therapist is relevant to this common life cycle event, right? Click again. How about getting married? Then we say, wouldn't a pampering massage be a nice wedding gift for the bride and groom? Or how about a chair massage at the reception or during a lengthy photo shoot? Next click. We're up to number 13. Okay, next is the new baby key situation. This is another easy one. Not only does massage help the mom, but they have a special form of massage just for new babies. Everybody get that? And so you keep moving through the next PowerPoint clicks, people relocating, the real estate key situation, and then you come to the close at click 19, where you're talking about all the way to the right. You can see how the massage therapist prioritizes the top 3 key situations that drive business. And in this case, the getting healthy key situation is number 1, followed by the new baby key situation and the business builder. Does this make sense? So again, going back to the PowerPoint, you can see where I showed you the examples a moment ago on how we worked our way through all of the relevant products or service. It actually fills in for this example how the massage therapist might prioritize their business. So now we go back to the trainer's guide document, and we simply wrap up this section by asking the question, does this make sense? Just kind of checking in with the group, and then wrapping up by saying, okay, good, because in just a moment, you are going to complete the I'm Relevant worksheet for yourself. Okay, so that wraps up that segment, which is allocated to be a 5-minute overview using the PowerPoint. So again, you can put that into your own words, but that completes that section of the presentation. So now we get into the I'm relevant exercise, and this can range from 10 to 15 minutes depending on how much time you want to give people to complete the exercise. So let's just go ahead and continue working our way through as if I was presenting. So I would say something like, when I say go, everyone is going to complete the worksheet, indicating whether or not you have a product or service that's relevant to one or more of the 6 key situations. Now listen up, everybody. Here's a few tips on completing the worksheet. Number 1, you may only have 1 or 2 key situations that are a good match for your business. That's okay. Number 2, you may be able to see how your products and services are relevant to all 6 of the key situations. Well, heck, that's okay too. Number 3, be sure to write the name of the product or service on the worksheet as well as the benefit to the consumer. Number 4, in the far right column, rate the top 3 key situations that create the most business and referrals for you. Number 5, feel free to talk with your neighbor to brainstorm ideas on how each other's products and services can be relevant to each of the 6 key situations. So I want people to talk to their neighbor, brings up the energy and should create more interaction, more retention, and hopefully just a better overall workshop. So at that point, you're going to say any questions, and if yes, give a very quick answer, and then you're going to put the group into motion by simply saying, okay folks, go ahead and quickly work your way through the exercise. And at that point, you'll be allowing 5 to 10 minutes for people to work through the exercise and talk with their neighbor. So a minute or 2 before the time is up, you'll say, okay everybody, how did you do? Was everybody able to come up with at least 1 key situation that creates good referrals for you? You'll see a show of hands, and hopefully everybody will raise their hand. How many came up with more than 1? And then depending on how much time you have, you can have fun with the group in a variety of ways, asking people, what's new? What were some new ideas that you came up with for promoting your business? And have some fun with that type of a question if you have time, and then just wrap up with some type of favorable comment. Okay, now we get into the wrap-up. And the wrap-up is where you have 2 options. The first option is the shorter of the 2, and we're giving 10 minutes for this part of the exercise. Essentially, the difference between the wrap-up number 1 and then wrap-up number 2, which begins at the bottom of the page, is that wrap-up number 2 includes a section of the exercise where the participants circle around in a group of 8 to talk about their number 1 key situation and their relevant product or service. So that takes extra time. Both exercises result in the participants pairing up with another participant who shares the same number 1 key situation and making an appointment for a one-to-one meeting with each other. So let me just quickly go through the dialogue here for number 1, and then we'll just take it one step at a time now that you have some idea on the difference between number 1 and number 2. So at this point, people have completed the worksheet for themselves. They've taken either 5 to 10 minutes, they've talked to their neighbor, and you're going to say something like this. Okay, here's how we're going to wrap up the exercise. I want everyone to write your number 1 key situation on the back of your business card. If your card has printing on both sides, we have Post-it notes you can stick on the card. So that's what we need the Post-it notes for. Either way, write your number 1 key situation on the card in big, bold letters. In a moment, we're going to complete the exercise with everyone standing up and mingling with the other people from your BNI chapter. If you're a guest of a BNI member, mingle with his or her BNI group. Anyone else here today who's not a member or was invited by a member, feel free to mingle with any group that you'd like. Now, if you are a BNI member, the goal is to connect with someone you're already networking with, but in a new way based on both of you having the same number 1 key situation. If you're not in BNI, the goal is to connect with a BNI chapter that has an assortment of people with the same number one key situation, because they are good potential referral sources for you. Now, you'll notice that I have some verbiage in here that may or may not apply depending on how you're using this exercise. And so, again, you'll put things in your own words, but I want to give you at least the bullet points that'll help you go in whichever direction you're using this exercise for. So this should take maybe a minute or two, and then you're going to get into explaining the exercise and turning people loose. Now, I do have a PowerPoint to support what you're going to say. So let's take a look at the PowerPoint slide that you'll be clicking to. You just got done doing the worksheet and going through the entire deal, so I'll click through to get to the end. And so now you're at the current part that we're talking about, and these are the instructions for wrap-up number 1. And so I'll go back to the reference document just because that's where you're taking notes, but I wanted you to see that we have a PowerPoint to support that. And so here you are, you just click to that screen, and you're going to say, so when I say go, I want you to stand up out of your chair and mingle. I want you to hold up your business card with your number one key situation in bold letters so people can see it. And then connect with someone who shares your number one key situation and schedule a one-to-one meeting to begin building a referral relationship. Oh yeah, you have 3 minutes to complete the exercise, so that should get a laugh, and then okay, go. So however much time you have, you'll fill it in. I just put 3 minutes there. Whatever you are allocating will be what you say at that slot. So that completes wrap number 1. Now wrap number 2 starts the same way, says the same thing. We're going to wrap up the exercise, write your number one key situation on your card in big bold letters, and then in a moment we're going to complete the exercise with everyone getting together in groups of 8 with the other people from your BNI chapter. So this is where wrap number 2 is different than wrap number 1. We have some similar comments here. If you're a guest of a member, sit with his or her BNI group. Anyone else here today who's not a member or invited by a member, feel free to sit in with any group that you'd like. And then we have a different set of slides to support this version of the wrap. And basically you're just going to say, once you've gathered into a circle of 8, you're going to go from one person to the next, telling the rest of the group your number one key situation, the name or type of relevant product or service, and the consumer benefit. In other words, people are going to do their Salesforce update or their sales manager minute, their elevator speech, whatever it might be, but you're going to focus it on the key situation and the information on the worksheet. So you'll say to the group, give them the instruction that they need to keep it to no more than 60 seconds, and then let them know that after everyone has had their chance to speak, everyone should trade business cards with one other person to schedule a one-to-one meeting to learn more about each other's business. And so this is just an instruction. Remember, no more than 60 seconds each. Okay, go ahead. And then with 1 minute remaining, if you're using this version of the wrap, there's another slide that just talks about remember that everybody has had their chance to speak. Now everyone should trade business cards with one other person to schedule a one-to-one meeting to learn more about creating referrals for each other. So that's your instruction to conclude the second version of wrapping up. And then your close is very simple, and I'm giving you 2 minutes for it. It probably will take less. So you call the group to order and then say something like, now that you've identified one or more key situations that create an ongoing stream of referrals for you, your goal is to network with a power team of networking partners, starting with the person you exchanged cards with. And then here you click the slide, and I'm just indicating that just make sure you've got the right slide set because they're off by one slide depending on which version of the wrap you're doing. So you click the slide and then you say, this exercise we just completed is from Power Team Certified, a step-by-step Power Team training system for BNI, which can guide you and your entire chapter through all 4 stages of building your Power Team. If you'd like more information on Power Team Certified, you can visit the website, which is listed right there at the bottom of today's handout, or talk with your BNI Director Consultant and then simply thank the group. So it's a very straightforward close, should take just a few moments, and that's your overview on how to present the I'm Relevant exercise. For more Power Team resources and tools, please visit the website, which is moneyonthetablebook.com, or email me directly. I can be reached at moneyonthetablebook@gmail.com. Thank you very much for your participation in this webinar. I look forward to hearing about how you have implemented the I'm Relevant exercise in your BNI region. Thanks again, and happy networking.